How's everyone doing today? It's your boy JJ Domination, and today we're here with my 2020 NFL Mock Draft 2.0. I know it's been a little late. A lot of people released theirs immediately after the Combine. I didn't because I am not a part of overreaction culture. That's just my thing. Just saying, it's okay to overreact to the Combine. A lot of people do it. GMs do it. People who actually get paid to make these decisions do it. I'm not, though. I had to wait a whole week. And I really wanted to assess this mock. I know it's not going to be perfect. It doesn't matter. But, you know, like in a few weeks, we will be doing another mock based on, you know, the first wave of free agency. After that hits, another mock draft will come out soon after. And then we'll do one with trades. And then we'll do like my final mock draft. Predict the pick. So I just want to make it clear. No such thing as a perfect mock. A lot of people are like, oh, you know, that wouldn't happen. That player wouldn't fall. We've seen it all the time. DK Metcalf, who had a killer combine for a wide receiver, damn near almost went into the third round. He was selected with the last pick in the second round. So I don't want to hear like, oh, that wouldn't happen. A lot of people had DK Metcalf like in the first round, like pretty high in the first round. The dude went almost in the third. Derwin James was looked at as a top 5 to 10 talent. He didn't go until number 17 overall. To the Chargers, you know, so I don't want to hear like this BS like, oh, that wouldn't happen. It happens every single year. So with that being said, here's my NFL mock draft 2.0. And we start off right here with the Cincinnati Bengals. The pick is easy. Quarterback Joe Burrow out of LSU. Easily, I mean, without a doubt, he's going to go number 1 overall. Like, it's not even a question. It's just what's he going to wear when he goes up there. Basically, I mean, we already know he's going to go number 1. You might as well get his uniform fitted, pick out a number, get your gear. You know, I mean, they're picking Joe Burrow number 1. I don't know why people are trying to get cute and act like it won't happen. It is. He didn't even have to work out at the Combine. He was just chilling in the sweats, talking to different, like, former NFL players. And, I mean, he's pretty much a lock to go number 1. Regardless of what you think of him as a prospect, where you think he's going to be really good, or his ceiling may not be that high, or this or that, you're getting a quarterback that's pretty much ready to play immediately, and you don't have to worry about, oh, we got to sit him for a year and nurture him. Nah, he's ready to play. He's ready to play. We'll see how it goes in Cincinnati, but that's going to be the pick. Joe Burrow, it's not changing. Then we go to number 2 overall. We've been hearing a lot of smokescreen rumors about them potentially looking at a quarterback. A lot of the veteran players have responded to that for Dwayne Haskins, and, you know, they're kind of having his back, like, hey, give the guy a chance. This is our guy. Let's see what he can do. So respect to those veteran players, such as Adrian Peterson, who's making a stance on that. However, I do have Washington not going with the quarterback. I have them going with edge rusher Chase Young from Ohio State. He was just a beast this past season. 16.5 sacks, and he missed 2 games because of some shady NCAA bullshit that he had to put up with. And a lot of people look at his last couple of games and they're like, oh, he didn't have any sacks. He didn't do anything. Yeah, he did. Do you not know how football works? Like, yeah, in the stat sheet it didn't show up, but the dude was taking on triple teams. The offensive line, like the offenses were game planning specifically for Chase Young, and he was still creating pressure, still opening up other gaps for his other players to come in and make plays. You know, Chase Young, he's a damn good player, and he's going to be coming to the Redskins in this mock, pairing up with Ryan Kerrigan and Montez Sweat. I mean, you have a young duo of Sweat and Chase Young for the future, and you have Kerrigan who can kind of play now and then also be like a mentor. I think it's a good opportunity. I like this pick for Washington, and I think it's going to happen. Now we get to the number 3 overall pick right here with the Detroit Lions. A lot of people are saying this is where the draft is really going to start. Maybe, but they're going to have their pick in terms of top defensive players. But I'm going to go with cornerback Jeffrey Okudah out of Ohio State. There are rumors that Darius Slay could be traded. The Broncos were one of those teams, but they just traded for A.J. Bouye. From the Jacksonville Jaguars. I don't know where Slay is going to go. I have a feeling it will be to an AFC team, but we'll see if that actually happens. But I do have Jeffrey Okudah going here. I think he has the most potential out of all the corners to be a number 1 on a team, like the top corner on a team. A man press corner, physical at the line of scrimmage, willing to tackle, you know, tough guy. I think he's going to fit the mold here in Detroit. Detroit really needs to improve that pass rush. But right here, I mean, Chase Young's off the board. Unless you want to trade down and get Caleb Chase on or AJ Epineza, you can. But I feel like, right here, you have your picking between Jeff Okudah, Isaiah Simmons, or Derek Brown. To me, you got to come away with one of those players. And they do right here in Jeffrey Okudah. Next up, we are here with the G-Men, the New York Football Giants. And I'm going to have them selecting linebacker Isaiah Simmons. Fun fact, Isaiah Simmons, this past college football season, only played 8% of his snaps at inside linebacker. So why is he being listed as a linebacker? Well, 6'4", 238 pounds. Okay, ain't no slot corner that's 6'4", 238 pounds. Slot corner, what are you talking about? Well, if you look at his snap count, he played the majority of his snaps as a slot corner. He did play some free safety, some strong safety, some linebacker, some edge rusher. This guy has experience doing a lot of different things. He's a versatile chess piece for a defense. And instead of debating, is he going to be a linebacker? Is he going to be a safety? How about we just have the easy debate? Is he going to impact the defense? The answer is yes. Let's just end the conversation there. The Giants need a lot of help on the defense. They already have a versatile player in Jabril Peppers. Go add another one. Versatility is key. You have a lot of guys who can be great or really good at something, but they're generally good at a lot of different things. That's pretty good. That's a good thing. That you want that on your defense. And I think Isaiah Simmons will be just fine here. He'll be just fine as a linebacker. A great athlete. He has the range. He has the speed when you watch him in game. But really worry. I really wouldn't worry about the pick too much if I'm the Giants. You're getting a hell of a player. And then at number 5 overall, what will the Miami Dolphins do? They got 3 picks in this draft. Oh my, what are they going to do? Well, they're going to select the guy they've been in on all along. Quarterback Tua Tagovailoa. They're going to be selecting him. I know everyone's trying to get cute. I wouldn't select Tua. They should just draft like 3 offensive linemen. And, that'd probably be a great idea. Me personally, I want to see what Josh Rosen would look like in like a healthy environment. He played with a shitty offensive line in Arizona. He played behind this shit in Miami. I'd like to see him in a better situation. Something tells me on the Dolphins we're not going to see that. He'd probably have to get traded again, which is unfortunate, or get released like straight up, which I would not do that, just saying. But Tua, he's been their guy. I know the injury concerns are there. I know a lot of people are trying to get cute saying, they shouldn't select Tua. Tua's not going to be top 10. Tua's going to be top 10. I'm pretty sure of it. If not, if he slips, it's understandable. He has the medical concerns. I know for people who are insecure about, size and not being 6'6", people like that are going to freak out. But really, it's medical. If he clears his medical, if he's fine, if he's good to go, if he can actually take hits, hey, I think you're getting a pretty solid quarterback. I mean, Tua, he does have a high ceiling. I guess the question is, will he ever hit that ceiling? I think, and will he hit it in Miami? That's a real concern. I get it. This is a risky pick. In my opinion, drafting any quarterback is going to be risky. You don't really know what you're getting until you actually have them in the room and you have the talent around them and you see, okay, do they need talent to succeed, or can they overcome deficiencies and help win games and be productive? You don't really know that kind of stuff until you get the guy in the room. So at number 5, we're going to stick with Tua. And at number 6 overall, the Los Angeles Chargers are selecting a quarterback, but it's not Justin Herbert. It's going to be quarterback Jordan Love out of Utah State. Personally, I'm Jordan Love over Justin Herbert. That's just me. I understand if you like Herbert more. To me, I'm more of a Jordan Love guy. That's just me. I think, I do see the upside. I don't see the Patrick Mahomes upside that people are talking about, but I definitely do see a little Josh Allen, a little Carson Wentz. I can see that. I can get behind that. Maybe even a little Big Ben. I do not see Patrick Mahomes. Just because he's light-skinned does not mean he'll be Patrick Mahomes. Let's just cut the crap. You know what I mean? But Jordan Love, he had a rough year. Definitely. 17 picks is rough. But I think knowing the situation and looking at the context behind the 17 interceptions is also important. Don't just look at numbers. Okay, yeah, numbers don't lie, but numbers need context. Okay, you hear me all the time when I do my weekly recaps. I do talk about interceptions, and I talk about how they happen, because not all interceptions are created equal. Some get tipped by a defensive lineman and a linebacker catches it. Some receivers drop it or it hits their chest, ricochets up in the air, someone else gets it. Or it could be just a Hail Mary effort throw, like, oh, it's the end of the half, let's just see if we can complete this Hail Mary, and it gets picked off. You know, like, all interceptions are different. Not everyone's going to throw a clean, damn, why did he make that throw, you idiot, type of interception. I think Jordan Love, it's interesting. I prefer Jordan Love to sit a little bit and kind of learn behind somebody. I don't know what the Chargers are going to do with their quarterback situation. Are they just going to start Tyrod? Are they going to be in the market for one of the quarterbacks that are going to be in free agency? I don't know. It's going to be interesting. But for now, I'm going to go with Jordan Love at number 6. And then at number 7 overall, yes, 7, I have the Carolina Panthers going with defensive tackle Derrick Brown out of Auburn. Derrick Brown's just a beast, straight up. You look at his film, he's just a beast. He's got some pass rush upside as well as an interior guy. You know, just a 300-pounder. Good job with leverage in the run game. Rumor has it that they're going to decline the option on Dontari Poe, which is going to open up a spot at defensive tackle. Derrick Brown, plug and play, easy pick. And then at number 8 overall, what will the Arizona Cardinals do? I know a lot of people want them to draft CeeDee Lamb. I get it, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go with offensive tackle Andrew Thomas out of Georgia. Yeah, he's going to be the first offensive tackle for me selected. I know he didn't test athletically like Tristan Wirfs. I know he's not freakish and moves around like Mekhi Becton. But to me, Andrew Thomas is the most ready to play offensive lineman out of all the guys in the class. I've been saying this for a while. Andrew Thomas, 3-year starter at Georgia, left tackle, very consistent. I know athletically he's not quite Tristan Wirfs. He's not quite as freakish as Mekhi Becton. But to me, when you just look at film, look at how he moves, look at how he is as a pass protector, and even a really good run blocker for a college prospect, the dude's the most ready to play. The Cardinals need offensive linemen that can play now, and they're going to get that. They just re-signed or extended DJ Humphries at left tackle. Put Andrew Thomas at right tackle. Boom, you just solved your tackle situation. Thank me later, Arizona. Thank me later, Kyler. At number 9 overall, one of 2 first-round picks for the Jacksonville Jaguars, we're going to go with wide receiver Jerry Jeudy out of Alabama. Probably the best route runner in this class. Arguably the number 1 receiver. It's definitely between him and CeeDee Lamb. Pick your poison. Judy's a really good prospect. It's really hard to find a flaw in his game, to be honest. Like, even at the 40, he ran good. But to me, it's hard to really find the flaw with him. I think he's going to be really good. He's going to be a good help for Gardner Minshew in this offense, or Nick Foles, whatever happens there. But with Jacksonville right here, the board's interesting. You could go offensive line, you know, because there are rumors that they're going to look to trade Andrew Norwell at guard. Maybe you decide to go with an offensive lineman, like a tackle that can play guard, like Tristan Wirfs. Or maybe you go with the best defensive player available, which for me is between Javon Kinlaw, Caleb Von Chason, or CJ Henderson. But right here, I mean, Jerry Jeudy. I mean, you're getting a hell of a talent, a guy that's going to help Gardner Minshew immediately, or Nick Foles. Has the potential to be the team's number 1 receiver. DJ Chark being that deep threat. D.D. Westbrook being the slot receiver. Keelan Cole being a good depth piece as your number 4. I kind of like this for Jacksonville, and I hope to see it happen. And then finally, or not finally, but at number 10 overall, last year's projected Super Bowl champion Cleveland Browns will be selecting offensive tackle Tristan Wirfs out of Iowa. I think he's going to be a great fit for Kevin Stefanski and what he's going to look to do. Wirfs, to me, can project as a tackle or a guard. I think he could, I think he has the potential to be an elite guard if he were to play guard. But he could definitely play tackle. You look at his film, look at how quick he moves down the field on screen passes. Look at how he just gets out there, seals the edge. Iowa produces a lot of good offensive linemen. They've had a couple of misses. For every Brandon Sheriff, there's a Jason Spriggs. But Iowa's done a really good job of producing linemen, whether it's offense or defense. and they're an underrated program when it comes to NFL talent. I think people do sleep on Iowa a little bit, but Tristan Wirfs, good fit, man. Can't go wrong here. Then right here at number 11 overall, Gang Green, the New York Jets. We're going to give them an offensive lineman too, because Sam Darnold needs to stay up on his damn feet. We're going to give them offensive tackle Jedrick Wills out of Alabama. I do like me some Jedrick Wills. You know, he played right tackle, protecting what would be the blind side of Tua, who is left-handed. I think he projects good as a left or a right tackle, but if he's comfortable with playing right tackle, it makes all the sense in the world to keep him there. You know, a lot of people think it's Madden, you know, you can just flip them to left tackle, they'll keep the same rating. Not necessarily, you know, even for me, who has like a little football experience, I kind of like playing the left side over the right side, you know, but some people are different. And I'm not left-handed, I feel like my feet move better going to the left than the right. But for a lot of people, it's different. So for Jedrick Wills, I'll project him to be a right tackle for this team. Got to keep Sam Darnold upright. If he's going to be the future, which a lot of people seem to think he will be, and he's growing on me, so I'll give him a good shot at being the future guy, the face of the franchise. But we'll see. I mean, hopefully Jedrick Wills does pan out and ends up being good. And then at number 12 overall, we got the Las Vegas Raiders. The draft is going to be in Vegas. They got to do something crazy. Even though this isn't crazy, this could actually happen. Wide receiver CeeDee Lamb out of Oklahoma. It's a splash move. You get the most explosive receiver in the class. You know, he wasn't going to run that fast at the 40. I think he ran like a 4.5 something, 4.51, which is still pretty good for him. You know, I don't know why people had this perception he was going to run under a 4.4. But, you know, CeeDee Lamb's a beast. You know, good run after catch guy. He just seems to know what to do with the ball in his hand. If you can get the ball in his hand, he's going to make shit happen. I mean, he's just that kind of receiver. A good route runner, explosive, could easily be the deep threat of this team, even though they have Tyrell Williams. CeeDee Lamb, to me, can't go wrong there. He's going to be a heck of a player, and it'll be interesting to see how he's used in the John Gruden system, if this pick does actually go through. And then right here at number 13 overall, I got the Indianapolis Colts going quarterback Justin Herbert out of Oregon. I'm not the biggest Justin Herbert fan. I'm going to be honest. I know a lot of people are raving about how he threw at the Combine. Yes, you see the talent. You see the arm talent. You see that he has a bigger arm than expected. But, man, the film just doesn't lie. He's inconsistent. He doesn't trust himself. He's a little gun-shy. But he has the billing to be good. But he's just not. You know, that's just my opinion. But this would be a great situation. You know, maybe you sit behind the guy, because it is rumored that this team's going to go after Phillip Rivers. Phillip Rivers is the opposite of gun-shy. This man will throw any pass in the book, okay? But this is a good situation. You get to sit behind, you know, Phillip Rivers, potentially Jacoby Brissett. This is a great offensive line. They have solid weapons for sure. Maybe this is a good situation for Herbert. You know, if he falls to a good situation, I trust it more. But if he ends up going to the Chargers, I don't know if the Chargers is the best situation for him compared to Jordan Love, who I think could handle it. But maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm just wrong on this whole quarterback thing, which is fine. You know, it's okay to be wrong, believe it or not. But, yeah, at 13, Justin Herbert is the pick. At number 14 overall, I'm going to be going with edge rusher K'Lavon Chaisson out of LSU. Whether you're able to bring back Shaq Barrett or not, I still think you should add another edge rusher. Chaisson has the ability to not only rush the passer athletically, because, you know, he is a speed rusher, very good athlete, but he can drop back in coverage occasionally. LSU did a lot of different things with him. I'm not sure how good of a pro he's going to be. The only reason I'm a little skeptical is because we've seen some LSU pass rushers in the past. You know, for every Danielle Hunter, who I actually really like Danielle Hunter. I liked him coming out of college too. For every Danielle Hunter, there's a Barkevious Mingo. There's a Arden Key. You know, so it's a little hit or miss with these guys. But Chaisson has a good skill set, and I think in the right defense you will see the ability come out. And I think with Todd Bowles, a veteran defensive coordinator, I think you'll see some of the good things come out from K'Lavon. He's a great athlete, can drop back in coverage occasionally, rush the passer. You can do some interesting things with him, and I think Todd Bowles in his hands, I think he'll do some good stuff. Now we go here to the Denver Broncos, and at 15 overall, Henry Ruggs, wide receiver out of Alabama, the fastest man at the combine. Didn't run that 4.22 or under like people expected, but he ran like a 4.27. Come on, guys, really? Like, that's still very fast. He's easily a deep threat. You know, I know people are trying to compare him to Tyreek Hill. Stop. He's Will Fuller, maybe Deshaun Jackson. You know, like, Tyreek Hill is a special player. I save special comparisons for special prospects, you know. Not saying Henry Ruggs isn't, but, you know, the dude pulled his hamstring, okay? Like, chill. You know, John Ross also pulled his hamstring, but I think this guy's better than John Ross. You know, Ross was looked at mainly as a late first, early second until he ran that 40. But, you know, Henry Ruggs, I think he'll be fine. He'll complement Cortland Sutton very well, and Noah Fant, and then Phillip Lindsay out of the backfield. I think he projects as a Will Fuller, Deshaun Jackson type than a Tyreek Hill type. That's just my take on Henry Ruggs. And then at number 16 overall, this was tough, man. The Atlanta Falcons, dead in the middle of the draft. They do have a few needs. They could look to add some help on the defensive line, whether or not it's edge, or maybe you add another DT next to Grady Jarrett. They could look to add a corner, maybe potentially a safety, with Keanu Neal looking like he might be out the door potentially. They don't really need nothing on offense in terms of first round. You know, they can wait for that kind of stuff. But I'm going to go with defensive lineman, defensive tackle, Javon Kinlaw out of South Carolina. The dude's a freak. He's like 6'6", 300 plus. I think he'll complement Grady Jarrett just fine, man. The dude's a beast. You know, he does need to refine his pass rushing skills a little bit, but he's just a freak of nature. I mean, he is built like Calais Campbell. You know, just a freak athlete. I think playing next to Grady Jarrett would be perfect for him. You talk about two monsters just getting after it, getting that interior pressure. A lot of people think, you know, you just have to have edge rush pressure, which, yeah, you would like to attack from the edge, but if you can push that pocket right into the quarterback's face, it forces them to go outside. So I think having two great, potentially great with Javon Kinlaw interior rushers, hey, I like the sounds of that for Atlanta. And then at number 17 overall, started a little too early, and at number 17 overall for the Dallas Cowboys, I have cornerback CJ Henderson from Florida being the pick. I think CJ Henderson has the potential to be a pretty good corner in this league. I really like this tape. You know, over the last 2 years, I've been really keeping my eye on CJ Henderson. When I was watching tape last year on Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, this kid, CJ Henderson, flashed off the screen a little bit. I like him. Good man corner. I think he has a balanced skill set. Ran faster than people expected. Physical. I think he's a good corner for Dallas. If Byron Jones leaves, I would feel comfortable drafting CJ Henderson. I mean, that's just me. I really like him. I think he could be good. And then at number 18 overall for the Miami Dolphins, we're going to go with offensive tackle Mekhi Becton out of Louisville. Mekhi Becton's a freak of nature. He'll probably be drafted way higher than 18, but for me, he just needs a little bit of work. He needs to refine his skills. He's a great athlete. His feet, he's got some good footwork, man. For a guy his size, he's got some fast feet. A dancing bear, as they call him. But he's got to refine some of those skills. I think he will, but I feel like if he falls into a good situation, that'll be best. So I think at 18, I mean, Miami needs all the offensive line help they can get. I really wouldn't be picky at this point, but Mekhi Becton at 18, I mean, again, players fall all the time. Mekhi Becton could easily be top 10, top 12, but here we're going to have him at 18 going to the Dolphins. At number 19 overall, we have the Las Vegas Raiders back on the board. We're going to have them select safety Xavier McKinney from Alabama. Again, from a winning culture, Xavier McKinney, that is, he has a lot of history playing free safety and nickel corner. I think he could play both, and I think he'd be fine at both. The Raiders need that kind of help in their secondary. I kind of like him more as a free safety for that team because they use LaMarcus Joyner as their nickel corner. So I kind of like him as a free safety. I'd prefer Joyner to play free safety and Xavier McKinney try his luck at nickel corner. but I think you can switch them on and off. I think they're both capable of doing both. I think it's a good situation for Xavier McKinney too, so I do like that pick. And then at number 20 overall, the Jaguars back on the board. We're going to go with cornerback Christian Fulton out of LSU. Christian Fulton, I mean, outside of that Clemson game, that Clemson game is a little tough for him. The Alabama game as well, but I mean, damn, he faced some of the most talented players that are going to be in this draft, and I think he's going to be fine, though. I think he's one of those corners who has like a low ceiling, high floor. He'll project to be a starter for this Jags team as well, because no Jalen Ramsey, no AJ Boye. The other two starting caliber corners you have on the team are DJ Hayden, who's more of a nickel guy, and Trey Herndon, who is more of a number 2. More likely a number 4. But I think Fulton could come in here into a decent situation in Jacksonville. This team is kind of in free-for-all. I don't really know what they plan on doing, but as long as the defensive line, if they can build that up, keep it stout, I think Christian Fulton ought to be fine in Jacksonville. And at 21 overall, the Philadelphia Eagles, wide receiver Justin Jefferson out of LSU. I feel like this is a great pick right here for the Eagles. They need another wide receiver. I see Eagles fans, they're kind of picky. They want a speedster. They want a burner. But there just isn't one here that's like a true burner like Henry Ruggs. Henry Ruggs is not here at 21. But Justin Jefferson is. He ran a 4.43, played 97% of his snaps this year at the slot wide receiver position. Nelson Aguilar, the guy that was playing slot receiver, he gone. I don't think there's an Eagles fan on earth that wants this dude back. And if there is, I'm sorry, but he ain't coming back. But you have Alshon Jeffrey, and then Justin Jefferson. He could be your slot guy. You'll have him in the slot. You'll have Goddard and Ertz at tight end, Miles Sanders out of the backfield. Yeah, it would be nice if this team had a burner for sure, but I think Justin Jefferson's fine. For a team that needs receiver help, I wouldn't be complaining about what kind of receiver you get. I would just be happy I'm getting a talented receiver at 21. At number 22 overall, I have the Buffalo Bills selecting wide receiver T. Higgins out of Clemson. A big body receiver. You can line him up all over the place. I don't think he's just a one-trick vertical threat pony. He can do a lot of different things. I do worry a little bit if he'll be good against press coverage at the next level, but man, T. Higgins is just a beast. And again, I said in a previous video, I think the Bills offseason preview, I have T. Higgins as the pick, and that's not changing anytime soon. At number 23 overall, the New England Patriots, they're just laughing. They're laughing because they just got a great player. They're going edge rusher A.J. Epineza out of Iowa. I mean, the guy's a freak, okay? Is a great technician as a defensive player. Sure, he didn't run the greatest 40 time. In the agility drills, he wasn't necessarily the greatest. But, man, the tape doesn't lie. As a technician, he just knows how to get after the quarterback, and that's a Bill Belichick type of guy. Who does he compare to if I had to make a comparison? I say he's kind of like Trey Flowers. Where did Trey Flowers used to play? In New England for Bill Belichick. That's the perfect Bill Belichickian pick right there. A.J. Epineza, you can't go wrong there. A good technician as a defensive end, as an edge rusher. I think he'll be fine in New England. I mean, New England has this tendency. You think they're going to draft wide receiver. You think they're going to draft offensive line. You think they're going to draft a tight end. Nah, they're going edge rusher. They're going to go with the best player available and a guy that could impact right away. And at number 24 overall, we have the New Orleans Saints. We're going to give them linebacker Patrick Queen out of LSU. The second linebacker taken, Isaiah Simmons exists. Patrick Queen out of LSU. We're going to keep him in state of Louisiana. He's shown a lot this year to warrant a first-round pick. He's a former running back converted to linebacker. I love hearing players who, started out as a running back and now they're a linebacker. I mean, obviously, you already know right away they're going to be good run defenders. Patrick Queen showed the ability to be a good pass coverage guy as well in a passing league, in a league that continues to evolve. I think he's the right linebacker. He's a guy that can play next to Demario Davis in your base nickel packages, and he could be the replacement long-term for Demario Davis as a top linebacker on the team. And at number 25 overall, the Minnesota Vikings. They're just laughing at everybody who just continues to neglect the safety position in the draft, because they just came away with Grant Delpit from LSU. He's going to be playing next to Harrison Smith, and Grant Delpit's going to be a beast. Everyone's concerned about the tackling. Oh my gosh, he missed a lot of tackles the last couple of years. You can coach tackling. You can't coach those instincts. You can't coach his athleticism. You can't coach the hustle that this man has going after the football. But you can coach up that tackling. Him next to Harrison Smith and a Mike Zimmer defense where he can get the most out of his defensive backs, I like that for Minnesota. They're laughing to the bank at number 25, getting Grant Delpit. Anthony Harris is projected to be a free agent. Trey Waynes is going to be a free agent at corner. They might cut Xavier Rhodes. Mackenzie Alexander might be out the door. Jaron Kearse might be out the door. This team's going to have to make some savvy moves, and they luck into getting Grant Delpit right here at 25 overall. Really like the move. He could play next to Harrison Smith, be the heir apparent to Harrison Smith someday. I love this pick for Minnesota. I don't think a Vikings fan should be mad at me. You probably do want Trayvon Diggs, the cousin or brother of Stephon Diggs, but for me, I just got you arguably the most talented player left on the board. And we are here again with the Miami Dolphins, their third first-round pick. I'm going to give them running back DeAndre Swift. And now normally, if the running back class does not have that generational guy, you don't take him. You just don't take him in the first round. But think about why the Oakland Raiders, now Vegas Raiders, think about why they took Josh Jacobs in the first round. They could have went anywhere. They didn't have to take a running back at 24 overall. But it's towards the end of the first round. You get that extra year on the contract, which is an extra year of a workload for that running back. You know, just because you draft him doesn't mean you have to pay him. I know it kind of sucks. It's a little scummy. But hey, you get an extra workload year on that rookie deal. So taking a running back late in the first round, I don't think it's all that big of a deal. I'm okay with that. You get an extra year on that contract. Go ahead and take DeAndre Swift. To me, he's the best running back. This team needs the help at running back. Go ahead and do it. And for the Seattle Seahawks, they are the hardest team to mock draft for, because they tend to just do weird shit. Last year, they drafted L.J. Collier. L.J. Collier, in the draft community, was looked at as a third or fourth round prospect. The year before that, they took Rashad Penny, looked at as a third or fourth round prospect. You know, they just do weird shit at the draft, okay? So what are the Seattle Seahawks going to do? Well, they have 4 defensive linemen that are going to be free agents. I'm going to give them defensive tackle Ross Blacklock from TCU. The guy's a beast and a late bloomer in terms of his tape and him being discovered as this really good prospect. He'll be a traditional defensive tackle for this team. Nothing too crazy, but good value right here to me. I mean, there's a lot of different directions they could go. Obviously, they can go offensive line, but outside of offensive tackle Josh Jones, I don't know if there's one worth taking. They could go with the corner, and when I say not worth taking, I mean in the first round. But, they could go with a corner, but I'm not really too sure. This defensive line, they could potentially be losing Jadeveon Clowney, Ziggy Ansah, Jaron Reed, Quentin Jefferson. You're looking at 3 starters and a good rotational guy. Yeah, you need to go get Ross Blacklock, play him next to Poona Ford, and try to figure out how you're going to fix the edge rush. Because it might have to be L.J. Collier in year 2, and then on the other side, it might have to be Rasheem Green. So you're going to have to look to fix this thing, but we'll give them Ross Blacklock here out of TCU, defensive tackle, to play for Pete Carroll's defense. And at number 28 overall, we got the Baltimore Ravens taking linebacker Kenneth Murray after Oklahoma. I really love this pick, and I love the fit as well for Don Martindale's defense. He could be the only linebacker on the field. I think he's that good. He's that important. He has that kind of presence. This team runs 1 linebacker. They have a bigger safety in the box, and they play with 5 defensive backs behind them. That's their base nickel defense. 6 DBs, 1 linebacker, and you have your 2 defensive linemen, your 2 big guys on the defensive line, and your 2 edge rushers. I think Kenneth Murray will be that 1 linebacker they're looking for. Good speed, good versatility. He can rush the passer, drop back in coverage. He's a great athlete, sideline to sideline. You can't go wrong here. I think Kenneth Murray would be an ideal pick for the Baltimore Ravens. And at number 29 overall, the Tennessee Titans. We're going to give them offensive tackle Josh Jones out of Houston. Whether Jack Conklin leaves or not, I think this is a good idea to make this pick. Josh Jones, great Senior Bowl. His tape, I mean, he did progressively get better, which is good. I think he's probably the last first round type of guy I would take. To me, I don't necessarily view him as a first rounder. I think he's more of an early second. But late in the first round, I mean, I'm not going to nitpick. It's by a few picks. Who cares? This is a need. If Jack Conklin does decide to leave, you need a new starter at right tackle. But hey, I like the pick right here for Tennessee. This is a team that, yeah, they have the cap space. They have good cap space entering free agency, but they got some big-time free agents, so they got to be mindful of that and draft accordingly. And then at number 30 overall, my Green Bay Packers. I have them taking wide receiver Denzel Mims out of Baylor. Looking at his tape, man, he just looks really impressive. He looks like he can come in and play right now. And this is a Packer team, they need a reliable wide receiver option outside of Devontae Adams. They have some decent guys, like Alan Lazard showed some flashes last year. Jake Kumaro looked okay for a game or two, but this is pathetic. They need to get better at that position. And Denzel Mims, there's a reason he's been creating first-round buzz. His tape is incredible. It looks really good. I'm actually impressed from what I saw. His Senior Bowl was really good. Workouts went well. I really like this pick for Green Bay. Just if Kenneth Murray were still on the board, that would be my pick. But because he's off the board, I think Denzel Mims or Laviska Shenault. I think those are the two receivers that you have to pick from. And we'll talk more about Laviska Shenault here in a bit. But yeah, I like this pick for Green Bay. If it were to happen, wouldn't complain about it. And then right here at pick 31, I have the San Francisco 49ers going with cornerback Trayvon Diggs out of Alabama. I think this would be a good situation. He's a good corner. Another one of those low floor or low ceiling, high floor type of corners. I think he can come in and play right away. He could challenge for that number 2 corner spot with Emmanuel Mosley, who seemed to have taken that spot from the other guy, Akilo Witherspoon. Playing next to Richard Sherman, I think he'd be pretty good. He'll fit the defense just fine. A defense that's going to look to be aggressive on third downs. They're going to look to sit in their zone, their cover 3. They're going to look to press occasionally when in crunch time. I think he'll fit the mold, man. He's a smart player. Playing next to another smart player in Richard Sherman, he can kind of pick his brain, learn how to play the position. Potentially could go on to be the team's number 1 or number 2 corner. I think it's a good idea for San Francisco. Listen, you could easily trade out. There are rumors that they're looking to trade out because of the lack of draft capital that they have in this year's draft, but I'm not doing trades just yet. I think at 31, you take Trayvon Diggs. And then at number 32 overall, your defending Super Bowl champions, Kansas City Chiefs. I'm going to have them going with a wide receiver at 32. What? I'm going to have them going with wide receiver Laviska Shenault Jr. out of Colorado. Allow me to explain. Yes, they have 4 good wide receivers on their team. They have Tyreek Hill. They have Sammy Watkins. They have McCole Hardman. They have Demarcus Robinson. Demarcus Robinson's a free agent. Sammy Watkins could get cut. He's being a little weird about his future. Tyreek Hill and McCole Hardman, yeah, they're great, but you need another element to that receiving core. Laviska Shenault is a guy that can operate to short to intermediate range, does a lot of good things with the ball in his hand, run after catch. He can do good stuff on screen passes. He was a Wildcat quarterback at Colorado. To me, and let me just explain this. This team, Kansas City, just saw Deebo Samuel up close and personal. And there's an argument to be made that Deebo Samuel could have won Super Bowl MVP. They just saw Deebo Samuel up close and personal. Why not have your own Deebo Samuel in the form of Laviska Shenault, who did play Wildcat quarterback, who played some running back, who did a lot of stuff in the short and intermediate game, could even flash as a deep threat. Imagine a Wildcat formation of Tyreek Hill, Laviska Shenault as the quarterback, and maybe Damian Williams if you bring him back at running back, or even McCole Hardman. Like that, this is a pick where you can get creative. It's a luxury pick. Make the most of it. You're getting a great player here in Laviska Shenault. There are concerns, though. Number one, he didn't run that fast. like some people wanted him to. He ran like a 4.59. I don't really care. You know, if you run like a 4.7, I'd be a little scared. But 4.59 is fine. I'm not tripping. He's not a deep threat. He's a guy that works the short to intermediate range. Good acceleration after catching the ball or with the ball in his hand. I'm fine with that. And number 2, injury. He re-aggravated an injury. He has a muscle core injury. He had a groin injury, I think, in college. A little concerning. But the skills are there. The talent is there. But in the hands of the right guy, he can be really good. Andy Reid's one of the best in the business. Laviska Shenault has an intriguing skill set. I like that pairing a lot. So there's my mock draft, ladies and gentlemen. Let me know how you feel about your favorite team's pick, and peace out.